Chocolate Bliss, that's what we have for you this Friday. A Manila-based chocolate company celebrates single-origin cacao beans harvested from different parts of Davao. And with that, we now have live in the studio, Robbie Crisostomo. He is the co-owner of Tigre y Oliva. Good morning, Robbie, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Ria. Yeah.
Okay, I mean, I love chocolate. We could talk about this all day, but your chocolates in particular are special because you put a premium on the bean-to-bar experience. What does it mean and why is it important for you?
Well, for the bean to bar, it's basically you work from everything, as they say, from the bean to bar. Because most chocolatiers sometimes get chocolate in bulk from bigger chocolate grinders from around the world, and they basically remelt them and then configure, and that's where the formulation comes in. In our case, we source beans directly from farms, farming communities, do the fermentation ourselves or with them as partners, and basically that whole process of roasting, winnowing, all the way to the final chocolate is done firsthand. Yeah.
Right, so you own the whole process. You know exactly where they're from, what happens to these beans, and how they're treated.
Sure, yeah, there's a full traceability in where all of our chocolate comes from. So the farmers that we work with, the communities that we source from. So all of these, there's that personal relationship and that sort of like connectivity. And so we try to bring the best of these chocolate flavors and work with different communities that we see can, that can make a difference.
Okay, give us a bit of a backstory behind Tigre y Oliva. How did it come to be and why did you give it that name?
Sure. Well, Tigre y Oliva was actually a company or a chocolate brand founded by a partner of mine, Simone Mastrota. So he's an Italian that had moved to the Philippines. He moved to La Union, a surfer, so it's a fun, basically, it was a time for him to experience the Philippines. On my end, had always been working in the cacao industry, working with different farming communities, more on a social initiative, and we were exporting beans to raw materials to different chocolate manufacturers globally. And so when I had met Simone, he had come to me with a passion of creating good Filipino chocolate. And it was very interesting for me because he was the first person in the Philippines that had tried to bring the concept of I don't want to mix any flavor at this stage. I just want to get different chocolate from around the Philippines. And just like wine, I want to highlight their flavor profile. Like based on the variety and the soil and the environment where it comes from, you'll discover different flavors. And so I was very much attracted to it. And it was named Tigre y Oliva, basically named after his two daughters,
okay.
Tiger, Lily, and Olive.
Okay, yeah. All right. Well, okay, you mentioned flavor profiles. Let's talk about the different origins that you are offering at the moment. Talk to us about, what the difference is and what their scents and profiles are. You have the talandang. What are the qualities of that?
Well, talandang is a specific community and area, and so these are what we call micro origins, and these are small batch chocolate made from specific areas. And for talandang, we would note very fruity profiles, like some of them more raisin. Let's say the other variant that we have has more of a citrus sort of note. And so it's very interesting and very fun to have, let's say, wine tastings or beer pairings where you can discover, oh, that's what chocolate tastes like. And that's basically the point and why we created this brand, was for people to discover that chocolate has a very wide range of flavors, and we wanted people to discover and experience that.
Right. I think it's really the experience, not just kind of like stuffing it in your mouth, although that can be quite pleasurable
fun,
as
yeah.
well, right? You have others as well. You have the Santa Maria and the Subasta. Quickly, what are those?
Well, these are specific communities. Like Santa Maria is a community in Davao Occidental. And so we've been working with this community for the past 3 years. We've done some programs where we've been able to give them cacao seedlings. We've trained them how to, plant properly, manage their trees so that they get good productivity. And so with these names, we wanted to highlight the community themselves and put them at the forefront. And so our job as a chocolatier is to bring out, in our best way, the flavors that, their trees can have. Yeah.
Right. Well, you started to talk about the impact of your company on each community. How have their lives changed and improved since you started working with them?
Well, the beauty of craft chocolate is since the customers, at the end of the day, it's the customers that appreciate it. And we've been able to put like a premium on these chocolate bars. And so the impact, basically, at the end of the day, farmers, the most important thing for them is basically what they bring home to their families. So the income that they generate, and if you can do it with good farming practices that don't damage the environment, then it's all in well. So in this case, we're able to charge a premium because it's fine, handcrafted, artisan chocolate. And so that premium allows us to pay farmers much better prices. So with these specific communities, they get much more higher prices than if you would just consolidate them as regular beans and they're shipped out and blended with just a commodity type of sort of like chocolate.
So it's really a win-win for them when you guys work together. Finally, where can our viewers buy your products?
Well, we'll be launching them in the next month, and so we're gonna be probably different coffee shops or specialty stores like Ritual, Tilde, and hopefully we'll be in duty-free and the different groceries sooner than you think.
All right, the wonderful pasalubong. Robbie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank
we
you.
do appreciate your time.
Thanks, Ria.
Again, that was Robbie Crisostomo, co-owner of Manila-based chocolate company Tigre y Oliva.